10 seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore, your morning dose of creative conversation and coffee with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant. Get ready to start your day off right.
And there I am now. Hi, and good morning. How the heck are you? Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore for Wednesday, October 6, 2021. Hump Day, new comic day. A lot of reasons to celebrate halfway through the work week, and we hope you are having a good halfway through your work week. Now we're gonna try to not go on as long as we did on Mondays, and I want to thank Grant Lankard and Angie Dudas for being very patient with this. As those of you who are watching know, we were doing our show just when Facebook went down, and it seems that StreamYard they tie their operations to Facebook somehow, and so I couldn't get in to stop the show to cut it off, and so everybody just laughed, everybody but Skunk Rocker, and God bless you for sticking around, buddy. But anyway, today's show should run smoother. Okay. Anyway, we hope that you are having a great morning, and want to thank our sponsors. Yes, plural sponsors. Let me get down to where that needs to be. Okay, first of all, we want to thank Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Yes, you've just written the best book you possibly can. You've had it edited, you've done all your formatting and everything of the interior, but now you need a great wraparound cover to set that book off from all the others in your category. So definitely you want to check out Plasma Fire Graphics because they do great work. They do it quickly. Jeffrey Hayes is fantastic to work with. And here's the probably not the best part, because the quality is what matters. But what's really important is the fact that he prices his labors at an independent creator's prices you can afford. And so definitely check out Plasma Fire Graphics. You can check out their Facebook page and their webpage at plasmafiregraphics.com, where you can contact Jeffrey directly for his rates. I need more coffee. And anyway, check him out. Check out his work. He's an amazing talent and a good friend, and we're proud to tell you all about him. That's Plasma Fire Graphics. So the look of your book matters to you, because it's going to matter to your readers, that's for sure. And we also have another sponsor today, Memoirs of the Morbid, a brand new anthology published and edited by Grant Lankard. And let's check that out now.
Greetings, ghouls and boils. I'm the Ghoul Master, a loving homage to horror anthology narrators of yesteryear. Wait, I'm an homage? Why didn't anybody tell me? You'll hear from my agent about this. But first, let's get to the heart of the matter. I'm here to tell you about the new horror anthology, Memoirs of the Morbid, on Kickstarter in time for Halloween. Memoirs of the Morbid is a black and white homage to classic horror comics from the 40s and 50s, containing 5 self-contained stories by some of the best indie comic creators out there. There's that word again. I better not find out homage is an insult. Anyways, Memoirs of the Morbid is completely done and ready to go to the printer. The comic will be on Kickstarter until Halloween, so don't make a grave mistake by missing it.
Definitely check that out. I've got a story in there along with my good friend Claudio Adriano. It is a 50s throwback. In fact, the whole book is a loving throwback to the days of Tales from the Crypt, House of Secrets, all those great horror comics we grew up on. And it's going to be a fantastic project. I am looking forward to seeing that in print, and we hope you give it the support it deserves. And as of this morning, they've reached $1,153 of their $4,000 goal, and we hope that you can help get them. Let's get them up to halfway by the time we leave the show this morning. So anyway, please check out Memoirs of the Morbid on Kickstarter funding right now. Also, please also check out issue 8 of here we go. Another memoir, Memoirs of an Angel by Brian Rodman. And I haven't seen how that's doing this morning. I'll have to check that one out. And also check out last night, the Dastardly Dingoes had their premiere show on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And I was privileged to be their guest. And of course, I filled the air with invective and misinformation and swore every 5 seconds.
How dare you!
Okay, I didn't do it, Greta. Actually, we had a couple of great topics on creativity and world building that I think you'll love the show. I really do. Sorry, Jeremy, you couldn't join us because we had a lot of fun, but it was fun watching Brian tear into poor Chad's self-esteem. And if you love seeing that sort of thing, please check out last night's Dastardly Dingoes, now on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. We're proud to have them. Speaking of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, here is a notice of the books, or not the books, but the programs we have. I had a little bad night's sleep anyway. The network has a great variety of programming, and we cover topics as diverse as comic books, writing, cigars, mixed drinks, combat, all kinds of cool things. And you will love what we've got tonight as Glenn B. Fleming and Ted Davies return to the Truthmongers tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then tomorrow night, tomorrow we've got Comic Book Spectrum at 7 p.m. with myself, Eric Hawkins, Clyde Hall, and Brian Rodman, talking comics. Then after that, Stupid O'Clock, the most fun, most intelligent, geeky conversation show you will find on the interwebs, followed by Dan Hollifield's Last Man Standing. You definitely will get your money's worth of entertainment out of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Ignore the fact we're free. Anyway, please check us out, all right? And check out our page on Facebook and give that a like if you would, please. Also, I want to give every one of these people a like because they are my patrons on Patreon. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators directly with a small financial stipend every month. And these people are supporting the Rising Tide, I'm proud to say, and we love them all. And they also have their own, so check them out too. But one of the things they get for their money is mentions on my program. So if you want to see your name on this page, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris, and you can be a part of this graphic. Anyway, we are going to start the show now, and thank you all for being here. Now, I didn't sleep very well last night, so this show may be less slick than usual, if you can imagine such a thing. I took I'm at that age now where you need a shot for this, shot for that. Of course, I'm fully immunized against the coronavirus, and I will be getting, and if with any luck, I'll get a booster shot later on. But I got a pneumonia shot a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago, actually. And then just 2 days ago, I got my shingles shot. And I've had friends that have had shingles, and I have been told there is very little physical pain that can match that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm all for that. Give me the shot. So it's a binary shot, just like the pneumonia and the vaccine for COVID. And I got my first shot. I'm going to get my next shot in about a month. Before that, I'm going to get my flu shot. I'm a mess. But anyway, my arm hurts like hell. And I seem to be reacting to it. So if I nod out and pass out yesterday, from the strain of doing this show, you'll understand. It'll be another 3-hour show anyway. And yes, we were broadcasting the other day while Facebook made its momentary, I say momentary, it lasted about 7 hours, where they turned off their servers to get rid of any incriminating evidence. They went down inexplicably, and I don't know what went on. And I've noticed that Facebook is not allowing, or at least my experience is that I put a little snotty remark about Facebook in a post I made yesterday, and it wouldn't allow it to post. So anyway, if there ever becomes another platform that is as viable as Facebook, I am so out of here. But that's why you should go to YouTube. YouTube was up the whole time, and it was still broadcasting reliably, and you get better picture and sound anyway. So if you're watching us on Facebook, I do advise you to go to YouTube. It is far superior, and yeah, it's got its own problems too. But what can I say? It's we are glad to be on Facebook anyway, so we can talk to you. But yeah, we also encourage you to go to YouTube and please subscribe, because we've got the YouTube subscription challenge going on. That if I can get 1,100 subscriptions on my YouTube channel, Brian K. Morris Rising Tide, and we can do that by the end of Halloween night, October 31st. So when I'm driving back from HalloCon, probably, there will be 1,100 people waiting for my next words. And if we can do that, we will do a special 12-hour Nevermind the Furthermore the following Friday. Okay. And we're going to line up if it happens, we're going to line up some guest stars, and we're just going to make a party of it. We'll have some prizes, some giveaways for y'all. So to celebrate this milestone. So please, 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 if you have not already, if you're watching me and have not subscribed, I really would appreciate it if you did. Please subscribe, and also subscribe to the other members of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network too, because they deserve it so much. Anyway, let's get to your comments. I've folded rolled long enough. And good morning, Brian. Happy Hump Day. Glad to you're here, and while we're humping, Teresa. And we will talk later. And the Skycracker says, by the time the show starts, I'll probably be coming down the elevator in the hospital I'm delivering, so I might as well get what's yanking my tail out of the way now. Well, if you get your tail out of the way, you might not get yanked. Anyway, Skunkcracker continues. So Skunkcracker, by the way, is one of the hosts of Stupid O'Clock and Last Man Standing. So please check him out. He's funny. Also, today my tail is being yanked by the fact that it's raining. I hate the rain. Hate, not dislike, not annoyed, not incensed. Hate. And rain causes people to crash their cars and cause traffic jam. Rain causes outages in power that prevent me from working. Rain means I have to wear my jacket all day, and it's denim and it's soaked. So, man, the rain can kiss my. So sorry if you like the rain, but I hate it. Okay, we've got that. And ran over. Hi, Brian. Hi, Evermorian. Good morning. A pleasant good morning to you, Skunk. I hope your day is going swimmingly. Literally. Anyway, Joe Bachman, good morning and happy hump day, my fine furry friends. Oh, glad to have you here, Joe. And Skunk Rocker says, I know how you feel with the rain. It has been causing havoc on the road project I'm overseeing. Yeah, that sort of thing can delay a road project. I know, having worked in construction before. So we did a lot of paving and such. So I feel your pain. I don't mind a light rain, a warm rain that feels good. But it gets a little dicey safety wise, and I understand it. And when the rain is coming down, that it sounds like somebody's pouring ball bearings on the roof of your house, then I get concerned. And Carl Westman, glad to have you here, sir. Good morning, everyone. And someone hand Skunk Rocker a plastic rain slicker. Oh my gosh, yes. And Donna Carly, mwah, darling, glad to see you here. Hello, all. And Dan Holofield of Last Man Standing and Stupid O'Clock. Morning. I hate swing shift. All I do is work and sleep, or at least try to sleep. And I'm with Skunk about the rain. My yard needs mowing, and I can't do that till the weather changes. Yeah, I didn't exactly buy top of the line for my mower either. And I was going to mow this week. We had some weather, and plus the confluence of my scheduling. We weren't able to mow my lawn for about a month and a half. It didn't grow that badly, fortunately, but it was a bear trying to get it done. It took me actually 2 sessions. I did part of it one day and part the front yard one day, and I did the backyard the next. That was quite the adventure. But now I like the rain. It's snow I don't like. Because it's like all the bad things about rain, but cold and icy with it. Joe Bachman says, I think it might be time for a break from paperwork this morning. I've had to run the same ticket date for this stone 3 times now. I think it's a sign that you need to like sit back and take a breath. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, we hope we can while away the minutes here together. And let's see, Carl Wilson, yes, Dan, I can't mow my lawn still. It stops raining. I'm really heartbroken about it. Almost said it with a straight face. Carl, you had me convinced for a moment there. That's pretty good acting there. And wow, Joe B, yeah, time for a break. And speaking of a break, we're going to give one from the desk of a small press publisher Saturday nights at 10 p.m. On the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And morning, all morning, BK. Morning to you, Joe D. McPhee. Hope you're doing well, sir. And there it is. And the Rising Tide Broadcast Network says, hi, Brian, really disappointed. I had to delay the launching of my Indiegogo campaign. Apologies to everyone who was going to pledge. It'll be up as soon as possible. Well, we understand, man. These things get delayed. Grant was, like on Monday, Grant was just in a position to start his early, in fact. But no, let us know what we can do to help you, okay? And speaking of, we've got a couple guests coming up in the next couple Mondays on Nevermind the Furthermore. This coming Monday, we're going to have Dan Doherty back on the show. He was on Clever Title Pending a few months ago. And he is a fun guy. He does web comics. He does a lot of print comics. And he is doing the last part of his horror trilogy. And we want to talk to him about that. Because the thing I first talked to him about was a humor title. And what's this, what's the transition between humor and, how difficult is the transition between humor and serious stuff? He is a fantastic artist, fantastic writer, and a fun guy, and we are so privileged to have him on the show. And then after that, we'll have Daphne Lage, who has been laboring in the comics vineyards for many a year, and she's got her own self-published book coming out, and it's a great opportunity, I think, for all y'all to pick our brain about how to get those things started and what it takes to stay relevant in this business. Really looking forward to talking to both of those guys. They are the non-gender specific guys. They are both wonderful people, and I'm privileged to have them. And it's not like we have moved Clever Title Pending to Monday mornings on Nevermind the Furthermore. This will probably be the last. We might have special guests every now and then, but it won't be. Well, actually, the focus is not the fact that they've got Kickstarters. It's just that Dan and Daphne have so much to say, and they're fun and they're entertaining, and that's why they're on the show. So it's not, the fact that they've got a crowdfunding campaign, Kickstarters, both, I think. But anyway, the fact they've got that is pretty irrelevant to me. And hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful Keisha Acuff. Mwah, glad to see you. I'm so happy to see you. Oh, Jen Thompson, just to put a word in your ear, Keisha, and Michaela Jade, in case you're watching, there's going to be a Black Friday sale over in West Des Moines, Iowa, at a mall. And I'm like, let's go. This ought to be fun. So anyway, it'll be Black Friday, and the next day, Saturday, we'll be set up at I think it's the West Valley Mall in West Des Moines, Iowa. We'll have more information as the days ensue. And question, is there any reason why BK Minutes cut out prematurely like the last episode of The Sopranos? That is something we're working on. This month is kind of an experiment. We know we're not going to qualify for any bonuses as far as the YouTube Shorts thing goes. But I have no reason. I have no idea why, but we're going to change up the format and see if we can't get to the bottom of that, hopefully. And Mark Leonard, good morning to you, my friend. Hope you are doing well, sir. Much love to you and the family. And from the National Small Press Publisher, seems like everyone does that. What, on the YouTube, their YouTube Shorts? I don't know what that is. I really don't. I think they're probably YouTube's in a rush to get their commercials on, because they can put commercials on shows that aren't even monetized. So that's part of the folderol they do here. And anyway, there is the Memoirs of an Angel. That That may be the wrong link. Let's take that out. Anyway, let's see. Okay, yeah, that was, here we go. This is the link for Memoirs of the Morbid. How did I get that? Okay, copy, and then this, and then this, and let's move this little notebook I've got here in case I think of something clever. Let's say to support Memoirs of Morbid. Go to there and pledge proudly. There we go. All right, there we go. And we've got that coming up on the screen here soon. I don't know what that YouTube thing is. Probably a porn site now that I think of it. No, it's not YouPorn or anything. And we don't do that sort of thing. Anyway, Keisha Acuff is also on YouTube. Check out her YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. And good morning to you, darling. Mwah. Glad you're here. And there she is, my darling Nita Lanning. Mwah. Nita, how are you this morning? Good morning, Mr. Brian. All you folks stumbling around for coffee. Oh, you have no idea. No, you probably do. I'm sure you do. Nita, it's good to see you as always. And check out and put in a link to what you and Meredith Logren do, okay? They are raging, all right? They have a fun show called Raging. Check out their YouTube channel and give it some love, too. And I hope I've not lost too much momentum. I don't know how you could have, especially since you haven't launched, but just keep everyone... If you've announced your launch date, explain to everyone that circumstances are keeping you from executing the launch on the date you said. So you are pushing it back. Just keep everyone. Communication's vital in a lot of things in the creative field. So just keep everyone posted. And I wouldn't worry about promotion, or I wouldn't worry about momentum. In fact, in the book industry, like some books, some novels from the major novelists, they start promotions about 6 months out, like saying, okay, on this date, we're going to get this out. We're going to get this going. So you're not doing anything wrong, okay? And Joe Dog McKeel is Stupid O'Clock, Thursdays at 9 and Saturdays at 11 Eastern. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I'm readjusting my body clock to HoloCon time. I understand that. I usually have to... what is the term? Adjust the timetable of my ablutions, I believe it's called, to correspond with the hours of operations of my many conventions. And by the way, we have this weekend off. That's kind of exciting. But the Friday or rather the Saturday and Sunday after that, we will be at DeadCon in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And there's a whole bunch of people there that's really cool, like Danny Trejo, various artists, writers, spooky stuff going on. There's going to be ghost hunting, and you're going to have a good time. So please come see us, all right? From this on Small Press Publisher, morning, Ms. Acuff. I hear Carl was looking for you. We're all looking for Keisha. She's that much adorable. You know what I'm saying? And reading becoming a writer, staying a writer by J. Michael Straczynski. I just ordered that off of Amazon, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. He wrote a great book on script writing. When I had delusions of becoming possibly a screenplay writer, I love his work, and he's done some iconic stories of like Spider-Man. He did the 9/11 issue. He wrote the 9/11 issue of Spider-Man. And in fact, I remember reading that it was a Spider-Man with an all-black cover. And it was how Peter Parker and Spider-Man reacted to the events of 9/11. And I read an article and said that Straczynski, JMS to his friends, basically sat down at the keyboard and typed it all out in one sitting. And then turned it in and then told Marvel, any royalties I might get because of this story, or any page rate I might get because of the story, I want you to send it to, and he gave like a charity or two that was related to 9/11, the 9/11 attack, and he said, I want you to donate my money to that. So loads of respect for JMS. And oddly enough, he's the one, he wrote a few Superman just before New 52, and I don't care for them. It's a long story, but otherwise it was well done. As far as technicality goes, technical writing goes, his Thor was fantastic. I loved his Thor. And good morning, Joe Dog. And people watch her on YouTube and 5 likes. Come on, people. Yes, please. I see only 1 love, 1 reaction on Facebook. And please, it helps us a lot if you react to this video. So give us, please, if you're on Facebook, give us a give us a like or a love or laugh at our chicanery. And if you're on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. Excuse me. And again, please subscribe if you haven't already. It helps us so much. And A-Cup Creations. Oh no. Why does Carl need me? Ha 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 ha. Oh, Keisha, you poor naive child. If you don't know why every man around you needs you, that's why. Anyway, Joe Dog McKeel, 8 watchers. And yeah, no. And the heckler didn't show something really wrong. Well, from that's a small press publisher. Maybe we threw him off with a 3-hour episode the other day. And we need to put a search out for Carl, says A-Cuff Creations. Well, Carl was here earlier. Joe Dog McKeel, hiya from the Small Press Publisher, Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Watch that show. It's a really fun show. And he's Bonnie, good morning. Why did the Headless Horseman go into business? He wanted to get ahead in life. It's good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. And sorry, Carl was distracted. Ms. A-Cup is here. And we always like to see Keisha. That's right. And Jobby Pika, good morning, friends and foes. John, happy new comic book day to you. Check out the back of the Cereal Box Network for some great, slick programming and really geeky stuff. It's really amazing. And also check out Nightreich, his brand new novel on Amazon. I almost said YouTube. And Stupid O'Clock says, hey, do you people really get up this early? No, we're like Nita Lanning. We haven't slept yet. We're staying up this late. And Ms. A-Cuff is here equals all heck breaks loose. We can only hope. And from the Small Press Publisher, wait, we getting a cranky Brian show due to lack of sleep? No, probably a low energy show. And Stupid O'Clock been awake since 4 yesterday afternoon. In fact, oh dear, I'm sorry. And Nita Lanning says, right as I started to crash, kids started waking up. They hate me. That's one of the reasons I never had kids. I was afraid they'd turn out like me. And I believe in karma just enough to, know all the terrible things I did to my parents and realize that the chickens would come to roost with me too. And I'm like, no, I'm cutting this off beforehand. My DNA stops with me. You know what I'm saying? And haha, thanks, Carl. Love you too. And Willow Schuyler, I love you too. Wow, Willow Schuyler. Good morning, my friends. Check out Willow Schuyler. She is on the back of the Cereal Box Network with Keisha A-Cuff for Cryptid Crunch, and also check out Willow's Pillow Talk, great conversation show. And we need an old guy's griping show. Carl, yesterday I could have used that. Every show is your griping show. That's enough out of you, potty mouth. Anyway, but yeah, that's true. But yeah, we ought to organize that. But I call mine the Green Room Friday nights in Uncle Carl's Secret Humor page. And if you can't find it, it's because you weren't invited. Anyway, Dan Holefield, I guess it's nap time then. And good morning to you, Comics Talk with Pops Van Zandt. Good to see you. And same, says Nita Lanning. I made 2 posts and several comments, all denied. One flagged me with another flipping warning. Good Lord. How many do you have already? And the funny thing is I can't find where my warnings are anymore. It's like, I'm sure I've got like especially after yesterday, I was making some snotty comments about Facebook and its owner. And it's like they've devoted themselves to encouraging free speech, have they? But they can't take a little bit of criticism from a minor broadcaster. I find that fascinating. And how coincidental that the outage was happening while the whistleblower, if you follow the news over the weekend, was testifying before Congress. And how many people get their news from Facebook? Let me think. So anyway, Donna, Carleen, somebody at Facebook accidentally deleted some kind of files, DNS or something like that. Go figure, huh? Well, that's another reason why we encourage YouTube. Anyway, Comics Talk about that they were getting rid of evidence, probably. And Carl wants old guys. Carl wants old guys griping, and then Pops appears. Pops, you're gonna have to elbow in here the best you can. There's a lot of us, and DNS is like your telephone number in a way. Facebook took the phone off the hook, so to speak. Yeah, and the thing is, how many services are linked to Facebook. How many websites can you get into where if you don't want to establish your own logon, that you can log on using, say, Google or Facebook? And I think it's an option on StreamYard, and that messed them up a lot. I mean, it wasn't for, I think it was about an hour and a half before I could shut off the show on Monday. And we got a nice letter of apology from one of the guys that runs StreamYard yesterday, explaining the kerfluffle. And well, StreamYard seems to have a lot of trouble with Facebook anyway, because they changed their security, and next thing you know, people can't log on, or the shows don't work properly. So I'm glad. That's why I'm glad I do not have a Facebook log on there. But I think because StreamYard was tied into Facebook as it was, that's what prompted the bad mojo on Monday morning show at the end. Yeah, because no one ever drove like a maniac or crushed a car when it wasn't raining. Exactly. See? Glad you noticed that. And Sarah, sorry I didn't get to talk to you yesterday. I was busy. But anyway, I will talk to you later, darling. And I hope you have a good day. Happy New Comics Day, darling. And Comics Talk and Pops and Sand. CromCon was booked in 5 hours yesterday. Good for you, Pops. And that's happening the last Saturday and Sunday of this month. Definitely make a point of being there. It'll be awesome. And thanks for explaining it, sweetie. Yeah, really. And morning, John B. Pike. Hugs from Facebook user. And Ace Bonnie, what do you get when you cross a vampire with a snowman? Frostbite. I can't stay long, but here for a little bit. Sarah, glad to have you here as always, darling. And sorry, it's Glenn. For some reason, I'm down as Rising Tide. How did you get on that? That's interesting, because wow. Oh no. You are a mod there, so it lists you as the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Another way Facebook is making your life easier. And Glenn, just to let you know, I have about 13 pages left to go, and I'm going to teach you something about transcripts when we're done. And I'm good at mansplaining tech, my dear. Yes, you are, Carl. And if somebody would just go get you a sandwich while you're doing so, life would be good. Stupid O'Clock says, I wish I taught my dog to go get me beer. I don't feel like driving down to the store to get more. Joe Dog, you just interrupted my wife's sit-ups. She's on the floor laughing, literally. See why I do this show, honey? Yeah. And John B. Pica says, it's been a while since I've been able to share what I'm up to. Check out johnpica.com for all of the things. You need to do that. Check out all the cool stuff this guy does. He's incredibly talented. He does it all well. It's nauseating to us mere mortals. But anyway, Comics Talk about says the shows have to be fun. Certain guests are a boon to a show. Well, that's it. That's why we're having Daphne on. I mean, if you've seen Sunday mornings with Randy Zimmerman and Varian Grant on the Indie Volt Network, she's a lot of fun. And same with Dan Doherty. He's he was on Clever Title Pending with Seth DeMoose over their Floppy Cop book, which, by the way, is one I have reread that I don't know how many times. That is one of the most clever, funniest books I have read in ages. That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun, and I dig that. And Glenn Fleming said, I'll say it again, my Kirby book DVD is delayed on Indiegogo. Sorry, everyone. Oh, that's fine. It's probably delayed, too, because of your idiot editor. But anyway, we're working on it. And Stupid O'Clock yesterday scrolled so far back on Facebook's timeline, it logged me back into MySpace. Tom sent me a welcome back email. See, that's it. Tom needs to be in charge of Facebook. This sort of thing like Monday never happened on Tom's watch. I'm telling you. And Scott Greiger says, hey, just remember, everybody, if you are affiliated with Twitch in any capacity, change your passwords. The entire site was leaked yesterday, including some source code and user information. Thank you. That is useful to know. And we are on Twitch. So thank you, Skunk. I'm going to make myself a note. Change password on Twitch. I hope it's not one of those where type in your previous password, because I can never remember that crap. Anyway, Carl Westwood says, I saw that. Not sure I can convince Don to go to Iowa in late November. If there is one flake of She would turn that van around. I did a show in Des Moines. This would have been 2 years ago. At the end of 2019, I think it was my last show of the year. I caught something. I got deathly sick. I'm not unconvinced that I might have caught COVID actually, because I was sick as a dog. And but anyway, it's by our darling Jen Thompson, who did the great Peoria show this year. And also I found I hope it's still there, but there was a motel that was like a couple of turns from the mall we're going to be at. The mall is easy load in, load out, and decent food court. It has a Made Right. For those of you who don't know what Made Right is, it is a small franchise, but the hamburgers are not fried like normally or flame grilled. They are steamed. And what this does is it takes out a goodly amount of the fat from it, and the meat is almost granular in shape. Little pellets of meaty deliciousness. And they're fantastic. When we went to the Indie Author Book Expo a couple of years ago, Teresa Dunn and myself, we ate there, and it was wonderful. They also had a wonderful buffet about a half mile from there called Hoo Hot. We've got one here in Lafayette. It's a Mongolian grill that is just absolutely super. We dig it. Anyway, thanks, Skunk. And Skunk Cracker says, as far as I know, changing your password forces you to change everything else too, so you shouldn't have an issue with the stream keys or anything, but you'll have to update all the information. I need to go in and learn how to do Twitch better. Anyway, to support Memoirs of an Angel, you need to go to this Kickstarter page and pledge generously. It is a wonderful book, and like I said, I'm going to be in it. I have a story there with Claudio Adriano, and in fact, some of the first artwork you see from the interior is from my story, where we bring back, all you old comic fans, brace yourself. We bring back, what is it? I think it's Dr. Jonathan King, Love Doctor, Hollywood Love Doctor. Anyway, it's going to be a fun book, and I had fun writing it. And said, Scott Cracker says, don't thank me, thank SVC friendo Grass Dragon, since she just reminded me she doesn't watch the show, but she probably should. Yes, she should. And John B. Pica says, but BKM, I was hired by Rockstar Beverages to host 12 haunted magic nights this month of Halloween at a local event venue, 12 dates, 3 to 4 shows per night. All the shows are sold out. Well, that's no surprise there, John. You're an amazing talent. Way to go, man. I am glad you got back into performing, man. I seriously am, because I knew you loved it, and I know you're damn good at it. So good for you, man. The blessings that multiply. And Carl Westman say, wait, did somebody mention a porn link? Might have. Maybe. I think it's difficult for her because she lives in Australia. Yeah, that's true. We'd be late at night for her, I think. I don't remember how exactly Australia lines up with America. But yeah, this would probably be like 10, somewhere between 9 and 11 o'clock at night for her, and probably on a different day. John B. Pica says, I also performed at a big corporate gig at the Nashville Zoo last week, opening Haunted Magic tomorrow night and then appearing at HallowCon. Guess who's officially out of retirement? I knew it. I knew you couldn't stay out of it, John. I knew you'd be back in the game, brother. And it's good to see, man. Seriously good to see. And Joe Dog, sending you my panels today. And I'd send in my shingles, but I just got a shot for it. Anyway, Sarah had health care with my 97-year-old grandma at 5 a.m. going to the ER. She's finally back home. Then a doctor appointment over the phone in half an hour. Good Lord, it's been busy already. Sounds like, sweetie. My darling, I will check in with you later this afternoon. I promise you that. I just got busy, and I got a little bit, some real life things were, it's one of those things that's not happening to me, but it's happening around me. And it was like pretty rough day yesterday. And Sarah says, I'll be raiding Midgard Comics this afternoon for that. Ho. She's going to take all of her frustrations out on the cash register by filling it. Anyway, hey, Ace Bonnie says, stupid o'clock. What did Zero say to number 8? Nice belt. We don't have one, Carl? And I contributed an ad to the back of the cereal box. Please find it on Facebook and vote for me if you like the ads. Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out. I've been watching much YouTube this week. I need to fix that. And old guy's griping show, that can be done. Stupid o'clock, make it so. And if the timing's right on everything, I'll help. I'll be on there. And yes, Green Room is the old griping show, both for men and women. Now allowing cats too. And I need a Sarah gripe room, says Sarah. I think after yesterday, there's an episode of Doctor Who, the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, where he is confronting this creature that has become almost godlike because he has been basically stealing the memories and histories of the people that worship him. And so the Doctor just gets up there on the ledge, and while everyone is singing in support to him, it's a beautiful moment where the Doctor is basically saying, you want memories? I've lived a long time. I know things that shouldn't. I know secrets that should never be uttered. I've lived lifetimes beyond, and many of my friends and loved ones. You want memories? Come and get them, baby. And he basically lets the creature tap into his, like 1,500 years of memories, and basically destroys the creature. And Comics Talk with Pop says that's why I save my content to more than one platform. That's a good idea. That's why we do it too. And Ted Davies Artistry, good morning all. Mwah! Our champion there. Glad to have you here, Ted, and looking forward to tonight with you and Glenn B. Fleming on the Truth Mongers. Always a good time. And my StreamYard was down with Facebook. Yeah, so mine was down, but not with it. It was down because of it. And the Green Room is not a show, Carl. It is an AA meeting. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, except we don't do that introduction because we pretty much know each other. And Pops, it is anonymous. Just fill in the blank with your favorite issue. And Damian Waldron, hello, Brian, and everybody. New comic day, rejoice, hallelujah. Glad to see you, Damian. Mwah. Hey, you want to see something really glorious? Damian redesigned my website, and if you want that same kind of functionality and awesomeness, contact this man and get him, put him to work for you. And yeah, People Anonymous, yeah. Stupid o'clock is a bad sign when the neighborhood ducks are headed up the hill with umbrellas. Yeah, it is. It's a bad sign. And see you tonight at the Truth Mongers. Ted and Glenn discuss the Black Knight satellite. What is that? What the hell is that thing? Yeah, I learned about that just a couple years ago, and I'm like, there's a lot of stuff that's happened in space that I'm like, that's funky. That's weird. We've got to see that. We've got to find out what that's about. And I made Cookie roll on the floor. My job here is done, says Stupid O'Clock. You've made Joe a very happy man, Cookie. You're welcome, she says. And Daphne is one of my favorite guests. She's wonderful. She is a wonderful, wonderful lady. I love her too. And hey, Ted, I have news about that too. Tonight. And cool. And thanks, Skunk. Done and done. All right, from Comics Talk with Pop fans. And he says, I'm going to go to Grand Rapids Comic Con in November as a press rep of the Madness Comic Network. I love saying that. You need like little laminated press pouches and everything. And, looking official. And Ryan Purvisson has shared this broadcast. Thank you very much, Ryan. Much appreciated as always. And good morning, Nevermorias. How are you? Subscribe to the Nerd Culture channel today for great nerdy content. You got to do that thing. And it's midnight Australia time. Okay, John B. Pica, I understand why she might not be watching because all decent people are in their beds by then. I got to bed at 2 o'clock last night. And draw from that what you will. And Ryan Permisson says, join us Saturday at noon Eastern for the show, and I quote, as we talk with horror thriller writer Carl Witzman. That's going to be an extravaganza. We'll also be taking your questions, so don't miss it. And, it's a good opportunity to learn stuff. So definitely check out that wonderful, wonderful show with two of my favorite people on there. And right now it's 1:41 a.m. tomorrow, says Donna Carlene. And Oz is about 12 hours ahead of us. Did Dorothy or the Tin Woodsman tell you that? And Ryan Purvis, in case you missed it, check out the record-breaking episode of And I Quote with Brian Rodman. What, did he get talking for 2 hours like I did? And also, while you're at it, check out last night's Dastardly Dingoes premiere on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. I was the guest, and we had some really good conversation about world building, both personal and fictional. Stupid O'Clock says, breaking news. Legendary singer Tina Turner has sold the rights to her music catalog spanning 6 decades to BMG in a deal estimated to be worth more than $50 million. Not bad. Not bad. And God, God bless her. Does that mean she's dealing with Scooter Libby now or what? But But yeah, and I've been following the thing with Taylor Swift that due to, I think she's with BMG too, but she wanted to buy back her masters, the master recordings, and they said no. It's ours, it's ours, it's ours. And so she went back and she is re-recording her first 6 albums. And Legal Eagle on YouTube had a really interesting 20-minute show on the legal ramifications of doing that. And they went to a guy who does a music examination show on YouTube. I can't remember the name, but I've caught him several times. And he said, if anything, the new recordings will could potentially destroy the value of the old ones, if for no other reason they're better recorded, that the sound quality is better, and that the her voice has matured, and also at that point she can afford more skilled musicians to back her up. So while the two sound stylistically virtually identical, the sound quality is superior. So this is something to be watching. I think it's pretty interesting. And go to BobbyNash.com for your next great read hit. It's called Snows, Series 1, Volume 1. I'm waiting for number 2. I'll be in it. That'll be great. And Will Schuyler says, not sure if this is a good thing or bad, but I happen to know the woman heading the vintage makeover show that I applied for. This can be interesting. I'll keep you all posted. Ooh. This sounds intriguing. If you want to tell more about it, please do. Like, what kind of show? You say vintage makeover show. Is it, like style, personal appearance? What? I'm interested. Elaborate, please, dear Willow. And Comics Talk with Pod saying, why does somebody that old need $50 million? She could have let relatives sell that. Yeah, but the thing is, though, the money she gets from BMG could still go to her heirs. Because it is still property, like intellectual property. They can still reap the benefits of it as like a trust fund or something. I'm sure she can afford a lawyer or two that could get her through this and take care of her families. And my StreamYard worked fine during the outage. Well, we did not. Good for you. And I did my Monday shows just didn't broadcast to Facebook. Well, that's how you do it. You just went to YouTube. But our problem was we had a show and the interruption happened while we were on the air. And so as a result, StreamYard, I couldn't StreamYard would not let me stop the show. So that's why the show is about an hour plus of dead air at the end, except for Skunk Crocker going, is this going to end anytime soon? If I'm going to have a 3-hour show, I'm going to fill it with content, good content, all right? And if I want a 5-hour show, I'm going to have Bobby Nash on because I love the guy. And Monday was a call sign 10-4, good buddy. Yeah, it was, I think it was kind of like a wake-up call for a number of us. And Michaela J., hey, there you are. Well, there you are, sweet thing. How are you this morning, Michaela? How are you? Mwah. Check out Michaela's tidbits and scribbles on Monday nights. And she's taking a hiatus from her Monday morning motivationals, but she's worth it. She is a darling. I love you, Michaela, and we all do. And Brian Robin, good morning, my fellow Brian and Nevermind. Memoirs of an Angel. Issue 8 is funded. Yes, we hit our initial funding goal at 10 a.m. this morning. Thank you all so much. You keep the series alive and printed. Now it's on the stretch goals. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And I'm taking full credit for it. You funded when our show started. I wonder. Anyway, no, congratulations, Brian. That's fantastic. I'm so happy for you. And that's great news. That means I'm going to get my issue of number 8 of Memoirs of an Angel. And you wanted to. This is a beautiful book about a ragtag group of finite and infinite beings who are trying to save a worn-out witch hunter from all kinds of manner of weirdness. And it's like Lord of the Rings meets The Exorcist, but better. So, holy cats, look at that. Look at that art. Brian Robin is so talented. He makes the most mere mortal sick. Anyway, but definitely, this is really good. It's got my name in it, too. Anyway, because I backed the last issue. But anyway, definitely check that out. Brian Rahman does such superb work. And I'm looking forward to number 8. Plus, there's going to be some stuff coming down the pike that I don't feel right talking about it, but it could involve some people you know. And there you go. It is true. Wherever you go, there you are. How's it going, Michaela? And you'll get it. You'll get it, Pops. One day you'll get it. And Brian Robin, last night was a ton of fun on the Dastardly Dingoes podcast. We sat down with the Fez man himself and talked about the importance of creativity and worldview and world building. Head to the Dastardly Dingoes YouTube channel and watch that extravaganza. It was a lot of fun. I loved, as always, talking with you and Chad, and it was just a good show. It really was. And I'm off the day job today because I twisted my back yesterday. Oh no. So while I sit here listening, I'm working on edits. Well, good for you, but I hope you get to feeling better fast, hon. And worth more after she dies. I think that is how that works. That especially in the music business. It's like, David Bowie was one of the first pop music people to sell their catalog. And after he died, after the release of Black Star, the sales on that just shot through the roof. Because it's like, why can't people support artists while they're alive? That's why I think it's so important to promote the people that we know. It's like, I don't want to buy David Bowie albums just because he's no longer around. I want to buy David Bowie albums to encourage him to make more David Bowie albums. So people just don't understand that. Mikhail says, I'm okay hanging in there, as they say. Thanks for asking, Will. And Brian Robin says, and if you haven't heard this 1,000 times, here goes another. And I did it too. Memoirs of an Angel is about a ragtag group of infinite and finite beings who race through time and space to rescue a bitter witch hunter from the clutches of the Dark Kingdom. It's like Lord of the Rings meets The Exorcist. Join the adventure today at that link there. Also go to brianrodman.com for more fun. And speaking of fun, it was fun commenting with no host, as Pops and saying, yeah, I'll just, that's what I'll do. I'll just introduce a show one morning and let you people go at it. And we'll let it keep. No, I've got, I'm serving some function here. Keeping you entertained. Yeah, to heck with everyone else, right? Right. See how little she cares for you, the thinly veiled contempt she has for you. Because otherwise, I could be in the next room with her. Yeah. See you guys. Anyway, no, we ought to do that one morning. We'll put on a show. Everyone just shows up. I don't get on here. Maybe we'll put some sort of graphic on here that I can use, and that could be on a loop, and it'll just be, I've seen shows like that. I've seen some comic shows where the host doesn't show up for a half hour or more, and everyone's just like, "Where's the host? Where's the idiot host?" And they have their own little conversations, much like this. And he's got a lot more people on his channel than I do. Maybe I'm missing out. Maybe I'm holding this channel back. And Willow Schuyler, I literally feel your pain, my friend. It sucks. Get yourself a good chiropractor. That should help get you back to an upright position, so to speak, if that's the position you're looking at. But yeah, and thinking of Luke Hopewell as well. Yes. And Pops, I also wanted to add to that, Brian Hawkins, who is also on a ventilator right now. Brian is Eric Hawkins' brother. And he's been on the ventilator for about a week or so, I think. It sounds about right. And our thoughts and prayers are with Luke and Brian and their families. And Brian is a huge supporter of the Indie Comic Network. He's not as flashy as some of us, and not as like in your face as some of us, but he backs a lot of projects, and he had a Facebook page for promoting Kickstarter campaigns for a long time. I don't know if he was still doing that at the time he contracted COVID, but anyway, thinking of him, thinking of their Brian, thinking of their families. So keep the prayers and good thoughts coming. And Michaela Jade says, interesting and exciting stuff is happening in the world of Michaela Jade. A reveal may happen at HoloCon. We will have to see. I'm always up for Michaela revealing something. And Michaela, let's think about, I think we should think about Des Moines. It's a lot closer for you than for me, and I'm going. So anyway, from this small press publisher, Pop, that is not a guarantee that it would be worth more after death. It then becomes a matter on who is nostalgic for her songs and is willing to pay for it. Well, the thing is, a lot of these songs, look at, Beatles songs are still as relevant as they were back in the 60s. Rolling Stones' old catalog, David Bowie. I mean, there's enough radio stations that get airplay, that give airplay to these songs, and so that alone makes it important. And plus, all the advertising. That's what the BMG is pretty much about. I think that they have. They are able to market the master recordings because they have the greater sound quality, which is why that Universal Music Group fire from about 5 years ago was so vital, because it destroyed so many master recordings. And getting older can suck, says Carl Witzman. There's a lot of various paints everywhere. Excuse me a second. There's some kids on my lawn. Hey, shoo them off of mine while you're at it. Yeah, I was joking with the pharmacist the other day about, my inoculation schedule, and I told her, I said, in about 3 weeks I'm going to have more vaccine than blood. I'm just going to be nothing but chemicals inside. She's like, ha, 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 you're right. Anyway, if I could afford it, says from this of a small press publisher, I would buy the artist formerly known as Prince catalog. Ooh, yeah, that would be fun. I would buy a lot of these obscure 60s and 70s groups. That's my jam. And Madam Executive Producer has spoken, says Jody McPhee. Of course, she says. Will Schuyler says StreamYard needs an autopilot for the comment feed. Just let it scroll through as people comment. Well, then how can I comment on your comment there? Because I'm 4 minutes behind, which is pretty good for me. And Joe, after death marketing is actually a thing, says Pops and Zan. I learned a lot about this game the last year and a half. Marketed correctly, a pet rock will make an after death comeback. Look how long Chia Pets have been around, right? And poor Luke and Brian. So sorry to hear that. Thank you, Carl. Yeah, it's and I got some bad news about somebody else, but they haven't said anything publicly, so I don't feel right about mentioning it here. But found a dear friend of mine is going through issues, so that kind of bummed my day yesterday. Not that was the most important thing, but it's kind of, I keep telling people, it's like, little signs of mortality, and they keep getting closer and closer, and you figure it's got to hit me eventually. So anyway, Brian Robbins says, unfortunately, I think a lot of folks' motivation for buying creators' works after they've passed is purely selfish. It's either based on nostalgia or hopes that the piece will be worth something. That is why I mostly support indie creators now, while they can benefit from seeing people enjoy their creations. It means so much to us to see people enjoy what we create. There we go. Yeah, you don't see a lot, it's like, in the mainstream, you still see people like, well, I'm going to buy 50 copies of this comic because that will pay for my kids' college education. Those days passed decades ago. That is malarkey. Some more contemporary issues can have a higher resale value than others. But honestly, you're better off buying stock. You're better off investing in the stock market, or even cryptocurrency. My cryptocurrency has gone up 50% since 6 months ago. So I'm not doing too badly. I am modestly invested. Let's put it that way. You should never invest more than you can stand to lose. So we're in good shape there. But yeah, it's like, that's one thing you don't see in the indie leagues. And the way things are now, you see a lot of people from the mainstream moving into independent distribution of their work. And by the same token, there are a number of people who are doing independently funded and produced comic books. They'll probably never have a resale value in the immediate future. If anything, I think they would have when these comics pass into the field of what's called ephemeria, like old postcards or old stamps or old advertising flyers or ball cards or cigarette cards, right? They used to have cards with cigarettes, cigarettes themselves. But anyway, it's the nostalgia factor is high in those. And just the fact that they are comic books, and probably the more obscure they are, might make them valuable, but that would probably be like 80, 90, 100 more years in the future. We don't have to worry about it. Instead, let's support these independent creators and get their work out there. Ace Bonnie says, what was the witch's favorite subject in school? Spelling. And yes, Des Moines will probably happen. Michaela, I'm probably going to get the final information I need from Jen to pull the trigger, and when I do, I will try to get our motel room, and I'll tell you where we're at. If it's the same, if that same place is still there. It was really nice, and they had a really good continental breakfast. I was pleased to say. Actually, I say continental breakfast, but it was more than just pre-wrapped donuts and coffee and oatmeal. It was pretty decent, and and they were really nice there. So we'll coordinate on this, sweetie. And hey, sorry I'm late. Angie say also we went out to breakfast. Not sure if I missed my ad or not. Well, what ad? What ad, Grant? Anyway, and from That's a Small Press Publisher, not saying that it's not a thing, just saying the popularity of the artist plays more of a factor after death than the death itself. Again, I doubt Bill Haley would fetch $50 million like a Tina Turner. No, I think you're right. Probably Bill Haley would get it simply on nostalgia, because Bill Haley, for having the first what people consider to be the very first rock and roll record with Rock Around the Clock. There might be a little bit of a nostalgia factor there, that, but it's also the commercial viability of the song in ancillary media, such as advertising, like truck ads or perfume ads. And a lot of contemporary artists have more recognizability, and it's very cyclical, because like back in the 80s and 90s, you heard a lot of Bob Seger, you heard a lot of Tina Turner, because they were on the charts then. Or I think Steve Miller had some, and I know that I've read interviews with Todd Rundgren. He has one song called Bang the Drum All Day, and he said he made serious money from that when the Carnival Cruise Lines used that in their commercials. Commercial work is very, very lucrative. You can argue the artistic merits of it all you want, but there's big money in that. I've written professional advertising before. If I were to apply that to my comic writing, none of you could afford me. Trust me, I am not cheap. I'm easy, but I'm not cheap. And well, folks, gotta head to the coffee grinder and serve the coffee to the masses. You all have a great day. Will Schuyler, as always, thank you for being here, and hope you have a great day. And everything I do is a failure, says Chad Nuss, and Brian Robin would know, as Brian works mightily to destroy Chad's soul. And Tina was pretty big. Yeah, she's been big for decades. She really has. She's had her ups and downs, both with her solo career and with Ike Turner. But yeah, she's an incredible talent. She really is. And Cindy Cap, good morning, geeks, freaks, and sneaks. Mwah, to you. Glad to see you here. Thank you for being on our extravaganza last night. Carl Wisman, have a good day. Willow and Michaela, I like how you said it. The money's catching. I missed that. And Super O'Clock says, Willow Schuyler, no, you should see the stuff us hosts don't show. Yeah, stick around for the after shows. That's when we vent about the show that preceded us. And Joe Bachman, time for me to hop off. Got a health and wellness seminar that I have to attend for work to help keep the insurance costs down. Have a great weekend, everyone. Well, you just party down with that thing, you Joe Bachman. It's good to see you, Joe, and hope you have a great rest of your day after the seminar. And I doubt Boy George's portfolio will increase his pop fans saying, I don't know. Because I remember hearing a lot of ads back in the day, when I still had TV, or I still watched TV, for like, Do You Want to Hurt Me was in a lot of ads that I saw. So, but again, like I said, it's cyclical. Like I said, Todd Rundgren's Bang the Drum All Day may get picked up by somebody for a couple of years, then drop off as they change the ad focus, then come back later. Another one was Iggy Pop's Lust for Life. That beautiful Hunt and Tony Sales bass and drum intro to that. So, and Cindy Cap says, getting steamed, you should check out the original Skyman Battles, the Master of Steam at Smashwords by me. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Cindy. And check out CKOEPP.com. Also check out CKOEPP on Patreon, where you can support this young lady directly. And you also can see some of her works in progress, which is worth the money. And I helped tear down the Rolling Stones concert in Pittsburgh yesterday, and I'm very, very worn out and sunburned. Yeah, but you're that close to greatness, man. And, knowing they're back on the road after Charlie Watts' death, Man, that's got to be bittersweet. And Cindy Kep is here. Go to CKOEPP.com, says Brian Robin, and buy all of her books. Animal Eye is my favorite. Yes, definitely. And that could be a good point, Pops. This is from the That's a Small Price publisher. Michaela J says, I love that I can make a living on my work, but if my kids benefit from it more after I'm gone, I'm all for that too. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't have any kids, but I've got some people that I've already made. This is going to sound more important than it probably is, but I've already made a deal with somebody about if something should happen to me, and Cookie, that they would get the Rising Tide catalog, and vice versa. We have made that deal, or at least one specific character in this case. So yeah, because the thing, and we're going to touch on in BK minutes, is they call it intellectual property for a reason. It's not like real estate, but it is fully, willable, transferable, sellable. So anyway, Cindy Cap says, no joke. My parents own a collectible business. People were buying up Beanie Babies to pay for their kids' college. Yeah, you see, the problem is, and I noticed this back in the 90s, by the time most people are aware of the collectability of that character usually is on the downhill slide, because, again, it's all cyclical. It has a shelf life. I remember back in the, late 80s, early 90s, that baseball cards were crazy valuable because some people were buying them up, kind of like tulips 500 years ago in Denmark, where they were buying these up, and because these people were buying them up, people were going, well, that must be a good investment. I want some too. So they start buying it up, and then there reaches a point where production can't keep up with demand. This is all very, very, economics 101. The demand goes up because there is a perceived value of the resale value of the collectible, as artificial as they may be, but the companies cannot match the production. And by the time they do, when there's enough for everyone, then a lot of the people who got in get out. And so suddenly you have more product than you have demand for it, and it crashes. The same thing happened with Beanie Babies. The same thing happened with Cabbage Patch Kids. The same thing happened with comic books in the mid 90s and non-sports ball card or non-sports collectible cards. It's just a group of investors go in, ruin the market, and screw it up for everyone else. Sarah, cool thing about my doctor's office, I have checkups over the phone. First, the nurse calls and gathers my info and checks me in. Then when the doc is ready, he calls and has the appointment by phone. I see a number of people that are doing it. I've got one friend that resents that highly. It's like, I'm taking my pulse, I'm taking my temperature. Why am I paying the copay for the full copay for this thing that I'm doing all the work for? Now, one thing he can't do is the rubber glove. And that's one thing that if my doctor and I love my doctor. I really do. He's a great guy. He's geeky too. But if my doctor said, Brian, you're going to have to put on the rubber glove and do that thing that I usually do, it's like, I don't like it when you do it. And aside from the physical difficulty of me doing it, no, you won't. Oh, hell no, you won't. You don't want to do it any more than I do. You're right. Yeah. It was funny. Yeah. Yeah, last time he did it, I thought for sure he was trying to open up like a new expressway. You know those tunnels we drive through in Louisville on 64? That's what he felt like. He felt like he was drilling to build one of those. Oh my God! I thought he just started working. I thought he was going to come out the other side. But anyway, I hope you're not eating breakfast, people. But anyway, it's good and it's safe too. It's for everyone's safety, Sarah. So good for you. I'm glad. It can work out. It can work out. And Cindy Cap says, if a god doesn't need a spaceship, then what about armor? Volcana will give you the answer. Volcana rebirthed the champion. Thank you, Cindy. And Michaela gets it. Let the kids sell it. Yeah, but Pops, the whole thing is that by sending it to this management company, they can possibly increase the value of it. And the kids will probably inherit the money that comes from it and probably get an ongoing income from this project. So it's not like you're depriving the relatives of any future earnings should, in this case, let's say Tina, pass away. What you are is you're almost guaranteeing they get a benefit from it. Because let's put it this way, Pops, if you owned the Tina Turner catalog and you collected the money from it, what could you do that this company with all of their connections couldn't? See? And Skunk Rocker says, all right, damn, it's burger time. It's always burger time, brother. And Grant is rocking the house. And I haven't eaten since yesterday. I'm starving. Skunk, get your breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, sir. Please. And simple swords and fighting axes, you need that from Nicholas Anthony Tucker, available now, along with big stumpy robots on Amazon.com. Skunk Rocker says, I didn't even have dinner last night. I ate some gummy bears and passed out. Good. Oh, good heavens, sir. Please take care of yourself. We need you. And you can do magic. I won't have to worry about a copyright strike on that one. And Amazon has Nightrike by John B. Pike, a great, great book. You need it. And checked in with my appointments at Sarah, and my bedroom is the waiting room for the doctor to call. That sounds naughty. I like that. It's an approved process via my insurance, so I don't have to be around sick people. Love this method. Yeah. Now Sarah got exposed to somebody with COVID. How many more days are you in purgatory? I'm just curious. Dan Hollifield says, finally sleepy. Yeah, I have that effect on people, Dan. Got to get up again at 4 p.m., go to work at 7, work 12 hours, grocery shop on the way home, then crash again so I can be on Stupid O'Clock and Last Man Standing tomorrow night. Hugs, so I'll see you all ASAP. Dan Hollifield, much love, brother. You take care of yourself and get the sleep you deserve. And if you missed Dastardly Dingoes last night, you really need to check it out. We had a good time, and we covered some cool, super cool things. And you'll want to see it. And it's good on the rerun, too. It's like Thanksgiving leftovers. Yeah, that's the thing. Cookie and I are already planning, since we're going to possibly be, thank you, sweetie, at the Indie Author Book Expo in November. We're planning our Thanksgiving around that. You know, we may have to have like a go to Hoo Hot or something for Thanksgiving. I've had worse ideas. Right? Hoo Hot is good, isn't it? Nod.
Yes. Hoo Hot is good.
Okay. Yes, thank you. I was going to say, people can't hear the rattling when you nod like that. My microphone isn't that sensitive.
You are.
I am very sensitive. That's a problem. And yay for you, Sarah, says Michaela Jade. Also keeps me from having to go to Champaign. That alone is worth it. And Cindy Caps and Nerd Culture has been interviewing lots of interesting people lately, a lot of the Nevermorians. So please check out what Ryan Permison is doing. All right. He's wonderful. And good morning to Eric Hawkins, my friend, who is going to be on with me and Brian Rodman and Clyde Hall tomorrow night on Comic Book Spectrum. Y'all want to check that show out. Look at that beautiful illustration Eric did for us. Look how he mocks the main guy there, I'm telling you. Ooh. Someone doctored this, didn't they?
I sure did. Caramel and pumpkin spice.
Ooh, caramel and pumpkin spice in one delicious cup here. And speaking of one delicious cup, you definitely want to see Brian, Clyde, and Eric and myself tomorrow night on Comic Book Spectrum. What'll we be reviewing? We don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Anyway, Cindy Cap says also check out the Desk of Small Press Publishers Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, because it's always a good time. Amy Hale says neurosis because seeing isn't believing. And in fact, we're going to take a short break. And this will, let's see, scroll. There we go. And if you like the work of Amy Hale, and you'll understand this ad. And if you don't like the work of Amy Hale, it's only because you haven't read it. She's amazing. Check it out. check out the work of Amy Hale on Amazon and Smashword. She is awesome. It was great spending the weekend with her, Ed and John and Jason and Becky and Sean and all of my friends at Cape Con last weekend. It was such a good time at the Drury Convention Center. Thank you, Ken Murphy, for having us, brother. So much love to you. We were happy. Boy, this is good coffee. You did great, honey. Yeah, this is a treat. Anyway, also Michaela Jade has Warriors. She's got 3 of them, 3 books about Warriors, and definitely check out the Warriors trilogy. She's working on her 4th book right now, and it's going to be great. And my thoughts are with the ill. It's definitely been rough, and that's an understatement for some of our own. Healing love going their way. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, so much. Thank you so much for that. And Michaela Jade says, yes, Carl, I make more cash in person than selling books online so far anyway. Yeah, the thing is, though, one effect of the COVID and the promotion that I did a year and a half ago is since like early 2020, I think I've only had 1 month where I didn't get something from Amazon. Yeah, granted, it's some months it's a trip to Burger King for me and Cookie, but many, a lot of times it's fairly decent money. And it's, and the nice thing is I wouldn't call it passive income, but it's like when I'm asleep, my books are still selling, and they're selling globally. So this, tell me I'm doing the wrong thing here. So anyway, yeah, but I do make more money doing personal appearances. And that's why we're kind of changing our strategy for next year. One, because it'll be less stressful on me. But we're going to be cutting down a number of our shows next year. So if you, we kept getting this thing, well, I didn't buy from you because I know you'll be here next year. And here's the thing. Everyone who says that won't buy from you next year either. So, trust me, they just use that as an excuse to come by and talk to you and, be momentarily distracted. But anyway, Pop says he did have one song with advertising play, but his portfolio is not really in demand. Oh, no. His style, Bill Haley's style of music is kind of passé. The best, in fact, I think the most times I heard it was when you had somebody like the Stray Cats, who also got their music into advertising. Like I said, there's a lot of money there. Let's put it this way. If I could write advertising for 1 hour a week, I would make more than I did in my cushy water company job that I was fired from almost 10 years ago. Okay. Advertising is tray expensive. And in fact, I know people who had worked on comic, DC, Marvel, all the big companies have a division that does what they call special projects. And that's where, like, say, US Steel sponsors a comic book and it's all about steel, or Radio Shack had a series of comics back in the 80s and 90s. First of all, featuring Superman, and they featured the Archie characters later. And those pay great. The deadlines are usually not so oppressive, and there's serious money to be made. And sometimes there's like public service comics, like DC did one comic with Superman and one with Batman. I have the Batman one, but the State Department, I think it was the State Department, in cooperation with various foreign countries, like the Middle European areas, where they had a problem with landmines and IEDs, where they did comics featuring Superman and Batman, who everyone recognizes around the world. And then they did these comics to warn about the hazards of mines, of landmines, and probably saved a lot of lives that way. And Poetry in Motion, that is Teresa Dunn, available on Amazon, 2 volumes of that. And here, he had one hit here. We must all remember, says Skunk Rocker, that artists from other countries are sometimes bigger in those countries than they are in the U.S. Yeah, that's true. It's a very regional thing. It's like, like in England, like Cilla Black and Shirley Bassey. Yeah, we've heard some of their songs here in America, but in Britain, they are icons. And how many times have people from America gone over to Britain to become huge successes like Sparks. But here in America, they can barely get airplay. So yeah, it's a cultural thing. And Grant Lankard, I moved a crate that said KR Guitars. Pretty crazy. I saw their bass player Daryl's bass, and I thought about picking it up. But I, for certain, would have been fired. Probably so. They're pretty picky about how their equipment is handled. I know I am about mine. And Sarah says, and yes, Michaela, it's a month-to-month basis approval from the insurance company for being able to have phone appointments. Happy that it's still approved. I am too. I'm happy you're getting that. And Halloween Comic and Toy Show, QuadCon Des Moines, Merle Hay Mall at Quads. Check out their listings at quadcitycon.com. Cindy Kemp will have books, dragons, comics, and other fun stuff. This past weekend, someone got the first issue featuring Scrooge McDuck. Are there other cool vintage issues you might find in the boxes? Well, then you can rummage through Cindy's treasures and see if there's something for you. Historical Fencing Guild, you can learn to safely smack people every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central with the adorable and charming Nicholas Anthony Tucker. And CromCon is coming. Spookaday weekend. Good stuff happening this Halloween weekend. From Pops Van Zandt and Grant Lankard. My mom falls hook, line, and sinker for all this stuff that's, quote, going to be worth a bunch of money one day. Yeah. And those are words that should send you running, particularly if the person selling it is telling you that. The Skunkcracker says it's happening with video games right now, too, and VHS tapes. I can't wait until that bubble pops and everything becomes really super cheap. I'm going to clean up. I've got all kinds of old VHS tapes. Good Lord, I should get on YouTube maybe, or on eBay maybe. And I'm hoping Luke feels better soon, says Cindy Kemp. And check out Luke Stone Studios and support his great work, Hybrids, the Sons of God's great comic series that you will enjoy. And Pops Van Zandt mocks Cookie with his laughter at his peril. And Bear Publications, that's because you need more than powerful stories. That's where you can get Cindy's brand new novel, Animal Eye, as well as her critically acclaimed, everyone loves that darn thing, Animal Eye comic book #1. That Cindy wrote the script for. It is brilliant work. She's an incredible writer. And I think once you read her, you'll become a fan too. I am. And Grant Lankard says, I always tell her, quote, if somebody tells you something is going to be worth money, it won't. The stuff that ends up being worth a lot is the stuff that nobody thinks is going to be worth a lot of money. Yeah, that's true. And sometimes it can come out of left field. For instance, in comics, for the longest time, Marvel's comic, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, the first issue was worth quite a bit of money at one point. And then people are saying, well, I want to complete my collection. I want to get all of them. So they started going back and they noticed that, wait a minute, they didn't print all that many of #2 because the sales figures hadn't come in yet. This was still when G.I. Joe was on newsstands, and it could take up to 6 months to get the full returns on them. And so the demand for issue 2 skyrocketed. And I don't know if it's still true, but at one point in time, #2, G.I. Joe was actually worth more than #1. And Zombies in Oz, you need this sort of thing. It is the best thing ever. My favorite comic book series right now, Zombieful World of Oz by Eric S. Hawkins. Please check that out. Currently on Comixology. And good point, Skunk, says Michaela Jade. And Damian Waldron laughs at Cookie with aplomb. And Grant Lankard, oh, Brian, what if Cookie puts on the rubber glove and you enjoy it? There's no going back. How would you know? What kind of expertise are you speaking from? And is there more to your and Angie's relationship? And I do say more because we're venturing into TMI territory with you here, Grant. So please come forward and tell us about your experiences with us. Anyway, Cindy, believe me, it's an exit, not an entrance. Anyway, Cindy Cap, go check out Memoirs of an Angel, #8 on BrianRahman.com. Fully funded as of 10 a.m. this morning. And it's a great comic. It really is. I love it to death. And telemedicine, all ACA compliant plants are required to offer telemedicine now, says John B. Pica. Oh, okay. I did not know that. I had to ask to see if I can get it for mine, because basically it's like I tell my doctor, yeah, I'm old, I'm fat, I still hurt everywhere. So, Unless he's the one that's liking the rubber glove thing. And Pop's saying, kids don't get it if you sell it. Exactly. And Cindy gets his Stormgate Press. Hopefully I get the link right today. You got it, girl. Way to go, Cindy. Thank you. Stormgate Press for Pulp Reality number 1 and 2, the award-winning magazine of great pulp fiction. And also the home of Captain Hawkland. And thank you, Cindy, for that. Thank you for all you do. CKOEPP.com. If you appreciate what Cindy does in promoting us, then please go to CKOEPP.com and pick up a book or a comic book, and also some Animal Eye swag. It's good stuff. Sarah says, my phone pauses when I'm watching on YouTube, then the call goes through immediately following the call. It goes right back to what I was watching. Awesome. It's like an extra show, isn't it? It's great. And from this, a small press publisher, Madam Executive Producer is in rare form again. Always, she says. Yes, at least she can keep her mouth in check today. Potty mouth. She's mocking me with her laughter now. So any minute the F-bombs could go ring. Yeah, and she just told me I'm number 1. Well, you know what? Back at you, girl. Back at you. In fact, here's a double dose. Yeah. I will take you up on that offer. I may not wait for you to be ready either. So there. Rubber glove for you, definitely. I'm going to treat you like a bowling ball. And this is where Luke Stone always used to tell me, Brian, how do you get away with saying things like that? Anyway, Popson says, but the kids won't have a stake in it anymore unless they still own a percentage after it is sold. Yes, and that is what the lawyers are for. And you know that somebody like Tina Turner is going to have something for her family where they will inherit her share. A lot of contracts work like that. It's not like Tina dies and BMG says, oh, good, we keep all the money. It won't work that way. I promise you. Because Tina ain't stupid. And good morning to our darling Amy Hale. Mwah, Amy, we ran your spot earlier. So good to see you, Amy. It was so much fun to hang out with you this last weekend at Cape Con. It was a good time. Hope you did well. And Cindy Cap says, Roll Cruise is sending me colored and lettered pages for issue 3 now. I'm so excited. You should check out his other work at artstation.com/Roll Cruise. He's a great artist. And Ace Bonnie says, what's a witch's favorite makeup? Mascara. And Cindy's, Sarah says, sorry, I'm off topic. I promise I'm listening. Hun, this whole show there is no topic. We're like the Seinfeld of conversation shows. And we just had a comment dump there. Yay. And let's see here. And Cindy Cap says, reviews from the land down under. Check out Hypersanity Books reviews. They are great. And Help the Hurting at Amazon with Victoria Adams. Victoria has written a wonderful book about her experiences with her husband getting Alzheimer's. And it's a very touching, compassionate book. And I think you all need to check it out. And she's got other things in her catalog, too, that I think you'll like. Scott Cracker says, breakfast is garbage. Just going to point that out. Like, I can't eat eggs anyway, and everything is so sweet and syrupy. And I like savory, salty, delicious. That's why I only eat lunch and dinner. I understand that. I get that totally. And I know you have an allergy to eggs, and they're in everything, aren't they? So, yeah, probably getting fed is a bit of a challenge. Now, does bread bother you? Because I know that most breads use like at least a little bit of egg, and the same with pasta. I'm just curious, do those affect you, or does their chemical makeup kind of change with mixing with other ingredients? I'm just curious about that. From the National Small Press Publisher, the analogy of the day: Cookie is to Brian like Roz is to Frasier Crane. She makes the host better. From this Small Press Publisher, I will agree with you wholeheartedly. I would be a wretched excuse of humanity if it were not for Cookie. And I tell her that every day. She does make me better. God knows what I'd be otherwise. Not here, for one thing. Pops Van Zandt says, just saying, if you sell to me, it is not your kids anymore. It is mine. Yes, but if you buy that and the conditions are you have to give my kids a cut of the take when I am gone, it is still yours, but you're doling out the money to someone else, is what I'm saying. John B. Pica says, the media is not talking about this, but there is really good news out there. COVID cases have dropped by 40% each week for the last 3 weeks. Oh, now that's good. That is good news. Well, I know that like a number of businesses and the federal government are starting to mandate among its employees that they get the Sharona Miley Cyrus vaccine. And that has got to be a huge help, particularly the government, because the government is, I think it is the largest employer in the United States, far outpacing Walmart or Amazon. So, and I also know the airlines have been very proactive about vaccination. So I'll take it, by God. I'll take it. You know, anyway, I was about to go on a rant. I stopped myself, Carl. I think you should be proud of me. And Sentenced to Troll has a new book out by S.L. Rowland. Check it out because Cindy kept told you to. And Tickle Me Elmo was insane. I love it. I have a Tickle Me Cookie Monster. So, and I keep saying that we ought to have one called Tickle Me Dracula. That's what I put in Sandestein. And Sarnart 76 for vintage cartoonists. Check out the work of Bill Sarn. He's a terrific artist. Check out his page for all kinds of great nostalgic goodness. And Skunk Cracker says, hey, before you say, oh, you can get a sausage biscuit, like fast food biscuits always fall apart as I'm trying to eat them. Plus, they are tiny and often not worth the money. I like the Hardee's ones. Those are pretty good. If I have a choice, I tend to order English muffins for that very reason, because otherwise I start wearing part of my breakfast. Well, I do anyway. I'm a sloppy eater. And new anthology coming soon from Ye Old Dragon Books. Meet the Dragons. And Cindy Kepps are going to be in it, I bet. I look forward to it. And Denver Martinez wrangles the colors on Animal Eye. You can check out his other art at deviantart.com/the-Raider05. Carl Westman says, some of you are also assuming that Tina Turner's kids are not a bunch of a-holes and that she'd want them to inherit. Some kids don't deserve to be spoiled heirs. That is true. I am assuming that Tina, if she's not putting up any crap from Ike, she's not going to put up with any crap from her children. But yeah, I'm assuming that the kids aren't a-holes. I am assuming that, if nothing else, Tina is going to make sure the money goes to where it is. And Pops, would you want all that money to be going to the kids if they are a-holes? Like I said, that's going to be covered in the contract. And actually the way it is now, a lot of times publishing is not the performers anyway. Look at how many years Paul McCartney was working for Northern Songs, and then it got sold and sent to Michael Jackson. Now it's part of Sony Music, or Sony Music, then it was Michael Jackson, then Sony Music again. So, it's all very complicated. And maybe I'll buy the rights to Nevermind the Furthermore after you're gone. Whoa. You'd be the only one that wants them, Grant. There are times I'm not sure I do either. Anyway, Cindy Cap says Indie Author Book Expo has a new event the weekend after Turkey Day. Lots of cool folks will be there Friday and Saturday, and she joins the shenanigans on Saturday. That's going to be worth showing up for. Cindy, that's one of the reasons I want to do this show. I want Cookie to meet you. And we want everyone in the West Des Moines area to meet Cookie. So please come see us. There's going to be a lot of cool people there and more signing up all the time. So that's not bad for a show that was announced like a day and a half ago and it's filling up. Stupid O'Clock, go play Real Life. Catch you guys at CBS and on Stupid O'Clock tomorrow night, 9 p.m., followed by Dan Hollofield's Last Man Standing. Great geek talk, intelligent and funny. Definitely. Hey, Joe Dog, thank you for being here. As always, thank you for being here. I love having you as my backup. And Carl, point taken. Yep, there we go. And how are prostate exams and bank robberies alike? They're both stick-ups. Yeah. And painful. And Cindy Cap says, and that is it for break. Catch up with the all layers. Sign up for the Rising Tide newsletter. Right there, it's free. And don't forget to tip your host. Yay for full funding Memoirs of an Angel and hashtag bring Cookie home. We got to bring Cindy home too, doing this creativity thing full time. Anyway, thank you, Cindy, for being here. We love you. Go to CKOEPP.com for a beautifully designed webpage. And also you can sign up for her newsletter, which in 19 days will come out and you will be thrilled. It is a great newsletter. You feel better after having read it. Seriously. And I sell very few books online. 90% of my sales are in person. Probably close to that for, I sell more books in person usually than I do online, but I have a steady income from online. It's not great. It's mostly ebooks, which, you can, because they are priced so much at a fraction of what the real book is, I say real book, but of a physical copy that, you sell the same amount, but here's your take from the paperback, and here's your take from the changing the sofa cushion from your ebooks. But just the same, it's sales. And I love the Stray Cats. I do too, Pops Van Zandt. I really do. And Stupid O'Clock says, my HaloCon attendees have learned. Uh-oh. What have we learned? Uh-oh. And the Historical Fencing Guild, good morning, Nevermorians. I hope you all are well. We are, Nick. Glad to see you here, sir. Hope you're doing well, too. Friday nights, 8 p.m. Check out the Historical Fencing Guild. Sarah says, I'm recently cleared from the exposure. Someone exposed themselves to Sarah. And no, it wasn't me. And good timing for the 2-hour window of Midgard being open today. Oh, and she'll be out there waiting for them, tapping her foot impatiently and waiting for them to pull up. And my favorites were the Electric Company Spider-Man comics. Those were fun. I love Spidey super stories. They were really good. And Stupid O'Clock continues. You don't get it now that vendor or guest most likely will not be back next year. So it's get it now or not at all. Exactly. And don't be blowing smoke up my backside telling me, oh, I'd have gotten it, but you're going to be here next year. Because like I said, everyone who's ever told me that, they don't buy. So they're just lying to you. And there are people, and it does annoy me, that I'm looking for people I can say hello to, make, eye contact with, and see if I can lure them over my table and give them my spiels. And there's inevitably some guy, and it's usually guys, who come over and think that the vendors are there for their entertainment. Now, I don't mind talking to people if I don't have anything else to do, but I'm there to sell, basically, and to expand my fan base. And if, this sounds mercenary, and it is, but, there used to be this one series of shows in Eastern Illinois around the Terre Haute, just over the border from Terre Haute. And there was this one guy who was always like, he'd get a bag full of video games, video game cartridges. And that's fine. We said, well, I'd buy your stuff, but I spent all my money on this. I don't have any more left. I said, well, I take a credit. Do you have a credit card? Oh, yeah, I got a credit card. I take a credit card. Oh, I got to go now. So, called the bluff. But they were also always saying, well, I'll get you next time. I know you'll be here next year. And one time I told him, no, I'm not. I will not be back next year. And it's because of people like you. You see, if they're not a customer, I don't care if I rag on them. But I told them, it says because of, people like this who think I'm going to be here next year, my sales, if they dip below a certain point, I'm not going to come back. I may not be back next year. I may not be back ever. And they're like, oh, I said, so you better buy it now if you really, really want it. Well, I'll go see if I can get some money. Yeah, you do that. So anyway, Sarah says, woo, Amy, I love the video promo. Isn't that beautiful? And I think she did that herself. I am so talentless in that regard. Anyway, Hasselhoff is a phenomenon in Germany. Yeah, see, there you go. David Hasselhoff is like a singing superstar in Germany. They love him. And also look at, like, back in the late 70s, early 80s, Cheap Trick. I mean, we revere Cheap Trick now, but at that time they were Cheap Trick was like this close to losing their recording contract with Columbia. Sales were not spectacular. And so then they recorded Live in Budokan, and it clicked on all cylinders. But the thing is, they go to Japan. Cheap Trick went to Japan, and they are like, you see them coming off the plane. It looks like 1964 LaGuardia for the Beatles. There's people just screaming and waiting for Robin and all the guys to get off the plane and sign autographs. And yep, we know fingers are bad. And the Historical Fencing Guild scrolling the comments. Why is it evil that Tickle Me Elmo mentioned they must never be allowed to gather in large numbers? That's true. That's true. They are foul beings. They summon demons within themselves. And Comics Talk and Pops Van Zandt says, my mom keeps sending me all the Elvis stuff I've sent her over the years. She wants you to have it back, and she's resentful. That's what it is. And Carl Westman said, did BKM just say rummage through Cindy's treasures? Oh my. Yes, I did, didn't I? Angie Duda says, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's checked out, backed, and shared Brian's and Grant's Kickstarters. Yes, definitely. Let's see where Memoirs of the Morbid is at. They're asking for $4,000 worth every penny, and they are, with 25 days to go, they are up to, still waiting, $1,165. Let's get that up there, folks. We need to get some more people supporting that project. And there we go. We'll put that link back in there. We'll get to it in a few minutes. And let's see, here we go. And just in case, hashtag don't die feed Cookie, as I need to feed Donna soon. And Michaela J says, don't forget to check out books coming from Prose Press. That's true. There is some good stuff. I've got some stuff in the pipeline there too. And have a second printing of G.I. Joe #2. I'm still looking for a first printing of that. And #1 from the desk of a small press publisher says from the desk of a small press publisher. Eric Hawkins says the first 4 pages of Zombie for World of Oz #4 will be on my Patreon this weekend, fully rendered and lettered. And speak for yourself, Brian. Yes, Skunk, I normally do. And YouTube. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I know. I like YouTube. They're fun. And BKM, I haven't heard your thoughts about the Marvel lawsuits or the countersuits against the heirs of Kirby, Ditko, Lee, and Colin. Any thoughts? Says John B. Pica. Yeah, we touched on this briefly last Thursday on Comic Book Spectrum. For those of you who don't know, the Hollywood Reporter last week had a story where Marvel Comics is going preemptive on some of their old creators. Actually, the estates of all their old creators, such as Gene Colan. I don't remember what his estate is being sued for, but it's basically to remove their copyright, any potential copyright claims they might have over the characters they created. Like Don Rico and Don Heck were, their estates were sued over Black Widow. Larry Lieber, who is still alive, he is being sued for the fact that he wrote the first episodes of Thor, Iron Man, and Ant-Man. And Steve Ditko, of course, his estate is, they started first trying to get back the rights to Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. And Marvel has hired a Mark Toberoff, who represented Siegel and Schuster back in the day in their attempts to try to regain control of the Superman IP. There is a thing in the copyright laws where when it's, and this is based on the way the copyright laws were 60 years ago. That's kind of grandfathered to a degree. But anyway, within 5 years of the original copyright, ending, the creators can petition the current owners, in this case, the publishers, to give them back their creations. Now, Marvel is basically saying we don't want the same hassle we had with the Kirby estate. And here's my prediction, John. All of them will settle out of court. Now, Mark Toberoff lost, the Siegel and Schuster thing. But that was beyond his control. But like with Kirby, my prediction is all of those estates will settle. And they will get a generous stipend, and they will get a good percentage of any sort of marketing and merchandising, but they will not regain control over the trademarks or copyrights, or actually the copyrights, not the trademarks. I keep getting the two mixed up. But no, they will get back. They will not get the copyrights back. Marvel will own them. But the thing is, they will settle because the last thing Marvel wants is to create a legal precedent. Because if they do that, then maybe all these other people that settled could say, hey, listen, they got something. I'm citing that case to build my new case on. So yeah, I'm predicting all of those estates and Larry Lieber will settle out of court. And they will not be unhappy. There's money to be had. Although it is Disney. So it's one of those things where they have to probably go after any money, judging by Alan Dean Foster. So that's my thoughts on that, John. I'd love to hear yours as well. And wow, is anyone feeling awkward, says Pops Van Zandt? Hopefully everyone. Brian just went off the rails. Well, that's what you people get for encouraging me, okay? So it's all on you. It's not me. It couldn't be me. And Eric, why all the Tina talk? Did she die? No, Pops was pointing out that Tina Turner has sold her catalog of music to BMG, and Pops is upset about it. And back on track. That won't last long though. And sold her entire music catalog to BMG. And sold her portfolio for $50 million. I should probably let Brian answer that. No, you did fine, Skunk. I appreciate the help. And Eric Hawkins seeing her. Okay, everyone's telling. Yes, all four of us should just tell Eric what is going on. Yeah, really. Let's gang in. Let's do the info dump on Eric. And Tina's estate will still get the royalties from that catalog. I spent 7 years as an A&R director for Malico Records. If anyone wants the real scoop of the sale of catalogs, I'm the guy. John knows everything. He really does. He's a smart fella. But no, John, Pop seems to think that Tina's heirs won't get anything. And my position is that if something were to happen to Tina, that she would have an agreement with BMG to let her heirs, whoever they may be, whether it's a charitable organization or her kids or her family, anyone in her family, that they would continue to receive the benefits of the sale of the catalog and any resulting monies thereof. Historical Fencing Guild, I'm glad Nevermind the Furthermore is nice and random. We are random as hell, fella. You've noticed this, right? And Scott Cracker says, anything else you want to know, Mr. Hawkins? There are 4 experts here ready to respond to your queries. Yeah, okay, why am I having a reaction to my shingles shot, guys? Can you help me with that? And Sarah just had my appointment, so I'm catching up with the show. That's more, and so am I. And Skunk, you would be less grumpy if you ate breakfast. And John runs out of the room before Skunk can react. Smart move, John. And my bad, says the Skunk Rocker. No, you're good. You're good. Everyone, you guys cover the ground. I don't. And and think of it this way. You guys answered the question before I could get to it, because I'm still 15 minutes behind. Not bad. Yep. I just heard on the news this morning, cases in our area are dropping. I need to check ours. But yeah, a lot of places are becoming more proactive about requiring employees, and such to get the vaccine. And good on them. Good on them. I was, okay, a mini rant. Indulge me. I saw one of my friends on Facebook that I normally think is an intelligent human being saying, well, why are they putting this poison in us? And it's like, how many millions of people have this vaccine and haven't died? Maybe as a direct result, and just not even died from the vaccine itself. The people who have died afterwards, whether they have recaught the Delta variant or whatever, is so statistically low that it almost doesn't matter. It matters that we've lost human lives. Don't confuse me on that. But the fact is that in the large, it's not even last I heard, it wasn't even 1/100th of a percent of the people. It's more or less a freak accident, and there could have been extenuating circumstances. Anyway, question for the Skunk from the Desk of Small Press Publisher. If you did partake of breakfast, would you consider a place that serves something like steak breakfast? Ooh, I can get behind that. And thinking I could go for a steak and hash brown breakfast, says the Desk of the Small Press Publisher. One of our local restaurants had a steak and hash brown breakfast. I had it. I'm like, man, I haven't had this in ages. This is good. Joe Dog McKeel from YouTube says, Tickle Me Elmos were evil incarnate. In my ghost hunting days, we had several homes. This time would just sound off without batteries in them. I opened the battery boxes myself and saw it. Pure evil. Elmo is the gateway to hell. Anyway, Sarah says there was a lady who spent $2,000 online fighting for a Tickle Me Elmo. That made the news because of how insane it was. I still see Tickle Me Elmos in the stores. They bring them back every few years. Good Lord. And hidden fact, the Thanos copter first appears in Spidey Super Stories. That's right, from the Desk of the Small Press Publisher. And it was funny because when the Thanos copter showed up in Thanos versus Robert Oppenheimer in Epic Rap Battles of History, I sent the link to Dave Kraft, who created the Thanos who wrote the story with the Thanos copter, and I sent that to him, and he was just so happy. He was sharing it. Look what Brian sent me. This is great. And all right, gang, got to run and make the donuts. John B. Pica, thank you for being here, brother. You have a sensational day, and help those people, my man. And we will talk to you soon. Check out the Back of the Cereal Box Network and Back of the Cereal Box every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Sarah, going to read another trade paperback before Midgard calls to let me know my pull is ready. Auntie Duda says, I save certain books, so I know they aren't worth a lot of money. They are priceless to me. The value is in the contents, not in the hard work that the creators went through, not the possible resale value. Amen, Angie. And Brian, T-minus 20 minutes until time to feed Cookie, and it's almost time for an executive meeting. Actually, we're going to go to the comic shop, and then we're going to have lunch. And Michaela J says, I've learned if I'm feeling off for whatever reason, I don't sell as many books. It's interesting to me how that makes a difference. I think there's kind of a psychic energy that goes on, seriously. And I've had that too. If I'm not feeling it, if I'm not in the moment, I don't sell many books. Or at least I don't feel up to trying to. So yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Once I'm going though, boy, man, I am a freaking dynamo. I'm 21 again. I am just like energy incarnate. So yeah, it's and that's why self-care for us is very important, Michaela. And that's why next year I'm not doing as many shows as I did this year. This last 3 months have been insane as far as my appearances. I've had an appearance almost every weekend. And I thought I was over at HoloCon, but I've got one more in me. And we're going to do it because we love Jen Thompson. And anyway, please check out the Kickstarter campaign for Memoirs of the Morbid. I have a story in there by with art by Claudio Adriano, and it is gorgeous. OMG, it's great. You will love it. And Sarah says, that's what matters, Angie. Exactly. Ace Bonnie says, what do skeletons order at a restaurant? Spare ribs. Take care, all. Ace, thank you for being here, man. Hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. Happy to have had you here. Thank you for your jokes. And Carl Westman, we have to go, so I'm leaving. Joe Dog in charge of smashing the trolls. Bye all. Carl, thank you for being here. Love you. Love Donna. And we'll get together. Maybe we can talk next week about getting together, okay? Grant Lankard says, the Ditko family is just looking for the same thing Bill Finger's granddaughter got, which is basically a PR nightmare that forces the company into giving them some money. I have some insider information, and it's not that particularly. I also know that there is another character that is going to have a streaming series on HBO Max, I think it is, that people who have done the pastiches of this character are getting credit, but not the original creators. It is about recognition, and that's the heart of it. The money is nice, but at the heart of it, it's recognition. Making sure that every time you see Doctor Strange come up, you see, created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And actually, in the case of Doctor Strange, Stan Lee has said, Steve Ditko brought this to me. Steve Ditko told me what it's about. Steve Ditko created Doctor Strange. Stan just wrote the scripts at first. And then I think he and Steve collaborated, and then after a while, again, Steve was the plot. He came up with the stories, and Stan came up with the dialogue, and later Roy Thomas and Denny O'Neil. But anyway, and Spider-Man was kind of a collaborative effort, but it's mostly for seeing the name, the legacy. All right, we touched on legacy. We touched on legacy recently on BK Minute. Please check that out every day at 7 a.m. We're going to be getting some fresh episodes queued up later on, and it's available only on YouTube. And bye, Carl, love you. And Sarah, adding to milk and cereal with a splash of eggnog. Oh, yum to that experiment. I've done that. Oh my God, that is so rich. That is so good. And Ace whispers, it's better to have BK off the rails than have Cookie go off the rails. Shh. Cookie frequently can't even see the rails from where she's at. And I'm not even looking. But anyway, thanks, Ace. And that sounds like renting, not buying. That is just me, though. And I'd say it is just you. We're still talking about the catalogs. And have you ever thought about having a granola bar, Skunk? Okay, stop talking now so you cannot die feed Cookie. Love you all. Go check out Memoirs of the Morbid on Kickstarter. Do that thing. And thank you for sponsoring this episode. And yes, Grant, we did run your ad. And Lurker Mode, disengage the Cindy Cap. When you're allergic to all the things, breakfast often looks like lunch or dinner in miniature. Lurker Mode, re-engage. Cindy, I feel your pain. As someone who has someone in their life with numerous food allergies, not as many as you, but food allergies nonetheless, it limits us as far as like going out. In fact, we went to a restaurant just a couple nights ago to kind of celebrate Cape Con, and there was Cookie had a salad, and she had to send it back because it didn't, because she said no cheese because she's lactose intolerant, and she's trying to get better about that, and no tomatoes because those give her migraines because of the methane exchange, whatever that is. But anyway, she had to send the salad back because it came back with tomatoes, and so many they weren't pieces you could just pick up and put in my bowl because I would have eaten them because I have no food allergies. But yeah, we don't realize how like celiacs have problems, and it's a good thing when restaurants are sensitive to that sort of thing. Sarah says, upcycling comic books no one wants by making collages as a personal journal. No idea where the idea came from, but I'm looking forward to starting it when I get donated comics from you and my boyfriend. Oh yeah, we've had some good stuff coming your way. In fact, before you gained your interest in comic books, Sarah, I had taken some shall we say adult titles and put them in boxes that I have sold to other dealers. And I told one over the weekend, Lovey Scott Reed, I said, if you run across them, I will take them back. I have someone who would like them. I'm just going to give them to him. So we have an agreement going. And Skunkcracker says, sorry, I got into a conversation on Discord about stuff unrelated to anything here. Whatever, just so but I feed cooking. I'll talk to you later. Oh, God, we need fire extinguishers. Okay. And the Historical Fencing Guild. Oh, are any of you doing Inktober 2021? No, I'm not. I'm not an artist. I probably could do that one year, and I won't be participating in NaNoWriMo this year. I've got too much on my plate. What a problem, huh? Anyway, caught up on comments, end of line. Thank you, Ace Bonnie. Yes, we are caught up now, and so I'm thinking let's end the show, shall we? And then we'll take Cookie to the kitchen and make her a nutritious, delicious lunch. And after we go to the comic shop. And anyway, we've got some shopping to do. We've got some stuff to do. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. And as always, appreciate your comments. Oh, we got one from Cindy Kep just came in. Sarah, if you need old comics that are a mess to use for crafty stuff, I have a box. Covers are a bit ragged, but they're still comics. Cindy, I could pick them up from you in November and then make sure Sarah gets them. How's that? And Brian Rahman, well, it's about that time, folks. Have a great day, my friend. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, brother. Much love to you. And much love to everyone here. And now it's time to start winding the show down. First of all, keep that attitude of gratitude in whatever you do. And we are grateful to our two sponsors today. The first one being Memoirs of the Morbid, a great comic book, a horror comic book that is crowdfunding right now on Kickstarter, is doing very well. And we would love your support. I say we because I have a story in there. Check it out.
Greetings, ghouls and boils. I'm the Ghoul Master, a loving homage to horror anthology narrators of yesteryear. Wait, I'm an homage? Why didn't anybody tell me? You'll hear from my agent about this. But first, let's get to the heart of the matter. I'm here to tell you about the new horror anthology, Memoirs of the Morbid, on Kickstarter in time for Halloween. Memoirs of the Morbid is a black and white homage to classic horror comics from the 40s and 50s, containing 5 self-contained stories by some of the best indie comic creators out there. There's that word again. I better not find out homage is an insult. Anyways, Memoirs of the Morbid is completely done and ready to go to the printer. The comic will be on Kickstarter until Halloween, so don't make a grave mistake by missing it.
Definitely check out Memoirs of the Morbid. It's a quarter of the way to being fully funded. At least last time I looked. Let's refresh that. But anyway, please check out that book. And it has beautiful variant covers, your choice of same. And I have a story in there. So please support that comic book. All right. And thank you for sponsoring the show. Great graphics, great covers, and great material that'll help you sell that book. That's what you get from Plasma Fire Graphics, all at an affordable indie creator rate. So definitely check them out on Facebook. Check out their page, plasmafiregraphics.com. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. So anyway, thank you to Memoirs of the Morbid and Plasma Fire Graphics for sponsoring this episode. Also, we want to give a big thank you to the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Please check out our Facebook page and give that a like. And we house a number of our various broadcasts on there, as well as YouTube. So please check out our shows tonight. Later on, we've got at 7 p.m. Ted Davies and Glenn B. Fleming unite They are the truth mongers. And tonight they're going to be talking about the black satellite, the thing that's broadcasting from outer space, but nobody understands who put it up there. It's going to be some lively conversation tonight. So please tune in tonight. It's a great show. You'll love it. And then tomorrow night, we've got Comic Book Spectrum at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Clyde Hall and Brian Robin and Eric S. Hawkins and myself, we talk the latest releases. We talk comic books in general. It's a great show, and we love your interaction. Please join us at 7 for Comic Book Spectrum, followed by Stupid O'Clock at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then Last Man Standing at 11 with Dan Holofield. Great geeky talk, and lots of laughs, lots of great information exchange. And also, don't forget, we have a Patreon page, as do many of the people you see on this card here. And if you would like to see your name immortalized forever in broadcasting history, then definitely check out what we offer at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And with that, we are done with this show. And so let's scroll down to where we need to be. And, we're just going to check out a little bit early.
How dare you!
Greta, I put in the time, okay? Anyway, but we are going to have a few ads. Please stick around and see what your friends are up to creatively. And we'll be back at 10 a.m. Friday morning for another Nevermind the Furthermore, the show that you are the guest. So please join us then. And as always, folks, remember, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great Wednesday, everyone. Happy Hump Day, everyone, from all of us here at Nevermind the Furthermore. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you for watching Nevermind the Furthermore, a Rising Tide broadcast network production. If you enjoyed any part of this show, please give it a like or a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Nevermind the Furthermore.
Author Cindy Kepp is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kepp at CKOEPP.com today.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Secrets, trust, worth. The bond between souls intertwined within otherworldly intrigue. Michaela Jade brings forth the Elite Warrior series, a collection of dark fantasy romance novels set in a twisted world where power lusts in the hearts of men and devotion seduces the souls of women. Warrior's Secret, Warriors Trust, and Warriors Worth. Available now at authormichaelajade.com.
When they mined an area, they put down yellow tape right across that line. See? And if you walked on the wrong side of that yellow tape, you blew up.
Strange Tales 136. I remember it very clearly, and that was my first exposure to Kirby. And I wanted to show it to people.
Yo, Pops here. Are you looking to be on Monday Madness? Is Monday no good? Do you need a special edition? Are you looking to be on the first timer spotlight on for you new guys? Launch parties, countdowns, CromCon Monthly. We got it all right here at the Madness Comic Network, providing online promotional services for the indie comic community and proud sponsor of
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
Now, every Sunday morning, longtime independent comics creator and Indie Volt podcaster Randy Zimmerman hosts a discussion on the lighter side of comics, the more whimsical and fun comics out there on the Sunday Funnies. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on Indie Volt, indievolt.com, the Indie Volt YouTube channel, and the usual Indie Volt sites on Facebook. Listen in, won't you? Participate in the chat. Let's have some fun. See you there.
Stormgate Press presents Pulp Reality 2. 10 new short stories from today's leading authors and illustrators in the new pulp genre. Packed with pirates, private eyes, aliens, automatons, villains, and vigilantes. High adventure, wondrous fantasy, mysterious horror, and startling science fiction await. Pick up a copy and be transported to astonishing places and travel to amazing times in the golden age pulp style. This is Pulp Reality 2. Available now on Amazon.com. From author Brian K. Morris comes a classic hero in a high-flying, fast-paced, and action-packed steampunk adventure. The original Skyman battles the Master of Steam with an introduction by comics icon and historian Roy Thomas. A Rising Tide, an Ace Comics publication, Available now in print or digital format on Amazon.com.
How dare you!